Hello, everyone. This is Chala Dinkoy, CEO and founder of the Repositioning Expert. I am here with another Tuesday Tea Time with Chala. I'm in my gym clothes. I just got really warm today and I did go to the gym, but it has been a very interesting week because ever since last Tuesday, we haven't had hot running showers in the condo for like 10 floors of the condo, and there's like 24 floors, and it's been pretty challenging. Logan and I have been showering, like not showering, we've been doing baths, and even the baths you have to, like, in a developing country, you have to warm them up, like warm up the water and then pour it in. It's been really ridiculous, you guys. I mean, I live in a pretty luxurious, I thought, condo. I've been living here for a couple of years. Nothing like that had happened. So I'm not exactly sure what's happening. We're getting like hourly messages saying they're working on it. They're working on it. It feels like world hunger. It's like, Bill Gates worked on that toilet issue. I think, was it in Pakistan or India? And he could never solve it. He threw all the brains and he threw all the money that he had to this problem, and it just, if you watch the documentary inside Bill's brain, oh my god, and he never solved it. I'm just praying that that doesn't happen for the condo, that I can actually shower. So I really miss that. So let me tell you about the topic for today. I actually wrote about this. So I usually come up with the Tuesday Tea Time topic and then I write about it in the blog, but it actually came up with a client after I did my Tuesday Tea Time, and I thought it was a great blog. But the blog exists, so go to repositioner.com and check that out. But I also thought it was a great topic for a Tuesday Tea Time. How do you know when it's time to reposition? So there are four ways that I came up with, and I'm sure there's many more, but these are the four ways that have come up over and over again for clients. First and foremost is that you have flat sales. Now, first of all, what is repositioning? What is positioning? Positioning is picking one target and one service or product that you're going to sell to them. That is niche positioning. That is positioning. Positioning is how you're going to talk about what you do to help the person see you in a certain light. So I'll give you an example, the very famous example of my clients who were the generic IT company, and we repositioned them to talk about how they can help a very specific industry called healthcare solve a problem around call waiting at their centers, at their call centers. So the sub brand that we created for them was called On Hold Rescue, and so they repositioned from a generic IT services company into a very specific pain point and a very specific solution for a specific industry. So that's what I do for a living, is I super niche and reposition companies so that we can get them new growth, new opportunities, better messaging, better close rates on what they're already doing. So one of the biggest reasons why people come to me is because they have flat sales. They're just not growing, or equally if they have the same rate of growth. So it's just not changing. The rate of growth isn't changing. And so I'll give you an example of, and this is a B2C example that I'm going to give you, is an investment advisor. And she was, had a book of business that had been handed down to her, but she was trying to grow. And she really had no idea how to grow because she said, Chala, people are not willing to talk about money to strangers. They're not willing to talk to strangers, but more, worse than that, they won't. It's very emotional, it's very personal, it's very private. They're not willing to talk about money at all. So what we did is we repositioned her into the super niche of divorcing women. And the positioning was that we help you maintain the same level of lifestyle as you had before the divorce. So this is just a very clear illustration of how you take the same service, the same product, the same industry, and you reposition it because you target it towards a completely new subsegment, which is the niche of divorcing women. And then you message and package your services and your products around one of their needs, which is, if a woman is divorcing, she needs information about what she already has and what life for her holds, and how to make sure to port whatever she has into the new life. So that's what we repositioned, and that's why when you have consistently flat sales or flat rate of growth, you need to look at, okay, maybe I need to do a repositioning here. So that's one of the biggest ways that we grow companies that have been stagnant and stale. Another way to tell if it's time to reposition is when you're getting sales meetings, but you're not closing them. And this actually happened, I talk about it in the article, to a very long time beloved client who reached out years later because one of the issues that they were having was, after hiring a very, very exclusive and expensive door opening firm to the largest corporations in America, they were able to secure all these meetings, and yet they could not close any of the sales. And it wasn't because they didn't know how to present. They were my clients. I taught them how to present. But what they were presenting looks like it was no longer valid or needed or as urgent for the people that we're presenting to. So I'm happy to say we've re-engaged again, and we are going to be repositioning them. We're first going to be doing the research to figure out who needs them the most, what is the number one pain that's most salient post-COVID now, and where can we reposition them into, and then we can actually close meetings that they're getting. And you know what? You don't have to pay for meetings if the pain they have is urgent enough and costly enough, and you position yourself in the market with your collateral and your marketing and your messaging as a big enough and credible enough expert in that pain. You don't have to pay. They'll pay you to come to a meeting. They'll fly you, and they've done that for me. So many meetings I've been flown to because they thought I was the only person who could help them. I'm telling you, I don't know why I'm so thirsty. Okay, so another way to tell if it's time to reposition is if you're sick of your current clients. And I use, the word sick facetiously, but it's like if there's not a fit, it's if you're not happy with the caliber of clients that you're getting, the kind of work that they're asking for, the kind of projects they're giving you, the rate of pay that they expect to pay. So most of the time, if there is a lack of fit with where you want to go and where your current clients are at, or the people that are coming through the door or through referrals are, if there's a gap between where you want to be and what they're giving you, who's showing up, there's a definite need to reposition, because who you're getting, what you're getting is a testament of your past, at least 90 days of what you've been saying and doing in the market, how you position yourself in the market. And in the lack of positioning, if you haven't positioned yourself deliberately through your marketing, through any strategy, then it's just what people have fallen into knowing about you or doing with you, and that they make their own positioning in their own mind because they have to make sense of what you do so that they can refer you. And if what you're getting isn't what you want or need, that's the huge tell that you need to reposition. So if the wrong person's coming, that's the time to reposition. The last way I'm going to talk about repositioning is if you're scared of having one giant client in your client base, and you're just worried that they're going to leave because most of your eggs are in one basket. And that actually happens a lot with a lot of my clients, because all of a sudden they grow exponentially through getting some sort of either, RFP, government grant, whatever this one big contract they have, then that becomes their source of huge income, and it becomes their source of huge nightmare. Because if that, anytime whatever happens, it's do or die with that client, right? And if they walk, you're done. So in a lot of those cases, they hire me because they recognize the danger. And the first thing we do, of course, is we look at repositioning them. Now, remember, repositioning doesn't mean that you change everything. It doesn't mean what you're doing with the giant client. It doesn't mean you change everything that you're doing. It doesn't even mean that you have to change your website. But what it is looking at the market right now in its current state, looking at the industries you have most contact with that have the biggest need for what you do and what problems you can solve, and then pursuing them specifically, and then positioning yourself into their need with your marketing, with your messaging, with your collateral, and with your outreach. So it's the one of the best things to do when you're scared of having this one big whale of a client is to reposition so that you can get other clients in either a complementary industries, in the same industry if it's not a risk to losing them and there's no conflict of interest. So these are some of the real good reasons why you need to reposition. And for those of you who haven't even done a positioning work at all, because this is like very marketing language, it's very high level strategy. It's the stuff that I learned when I was launching 7 to 10 new products every year for Pepsi, Pizza Hut, Frito-Lay. And when I learned the art of positioning, because we would launch the same variant of the same thing, a different variant of the same thing, but we had to sell it on the same shelf. And how am I going to be selling pretty much the same product, where even sometimes our own sales reps would be confused on the shelves of, oh my God, is that the same variant? Oh no, that's a different flavor. So if we're confused, then the consumer's confused. So how am I going to differentiate them enough? Well, it's called the art of positioning. It's called the art of figuring out what need is unmet in the market right now with that same solution, the same product or service that you're selling, and how can you make it look different with its price, package, messaging, whatever the composition is. How can you make it look, and it can't be, and it's not too far different because it's in the same family of product. So then how can you make it look different, position it differently into the gap in the market that needs to be met? So those are some of the gems that I have on my Tuesday tea time with you. Hopefully by next Tuesday, I will have had an actual shower in my own home and I'll be clean. And I hope you are too. I hope you're not. I mean, it could be the extreme cold, you guys. It could be. But thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week. All the best.